I guess there is just a difference between what is real and what isn't real. And things that you make up, like fairy tales, things that you can't relate to, like Cinderella in the story Cinderella, that isn't real. So the opposite of being made up or of not existing is reality. And so I am real, I guess, because other people can see me, hear me, interact with me, and that's my reality. And the opposite of that is not existing, so that's not reality. So what part of being real is makes the essence of reality? I think part of what we associate as reality is what we can see in our true senses. What we can perceive, what we can sense, is basically the core of our personal, individual reality. So being able to see, being able to hear, and feel, taste, and and yeah, and touch, and taste, and hear, and listen, and see, and all the senses. That's part of your intrinsic reality, which is unique. And if something can't be sensed, then perhaps it doesn't exist. But by that, following that train of thought, if something can't be sensed, meaning that it can't exist, that basically means that things which aren't right next to you, that just like what's behind you, doesn't exist until you turn your head and look there, and other places don't exist because you're not there to sense it. So which basically shows that there must be more to reality than your senses. That the earth and everything is more real than people being there to sense it, which is interesting. Um, so what can we define reality beyond our senses? You could say everybody's senses, but then desolate places or places where humans aren't, you say aren't real. So, so if you take away our senses to for evidence for the stuff being real, and you think for something else, then what else is there to show reality? And I would just like to think about that. I guess if it's part of existence is reality, and there's no way of proving that, because if no one's there to sense it, then there's no one there to show that it's real, I guess. So it's stuck in some vague territory where reality is more than us being able to sense it being there, but also is there. It is the difference between, it's what reality is, the isness rather than the isn'tness. It just is, and its existence is like necessary. So it exists within itself. That is reality, and doesn't depend on on contingent things as people to perceive it. But then things can exist whether you perceive it or not. Like whether I'm looking at a star or not, it still exists. So its existence is outside the realm of perception. So reality is, you could say, what makes up our universe and what can be detected. Potentially, but doesn't have to have been detected. Which leaves us in a very weird place, that anything that has the potential to be detected, but it doesn't have to be detected for it to be real. But what about things that can't be detected, like dark matter, and things that will always be beyond our comprehension, like hyperspace or alternate universes? Are they real? It depends. But if they are there, then they're there. But with no way of telling of this reality. So, what is reality? It's it's things that exist and exist for no in particular reason, but they are there. How can I differentiate between what is reality and what isn't reality without senses, if senses can be fallible? Well, you could say that reality is the core essence of life, and anything beyond that is nonsensical rubbish that shouldn't be thought about. But how can we prove that nonsensical rubbish doesn't not exist? Well, you can't. So if reality is existence and existence is reality, how can we show what reality is with our short time left in this video? Well, I think reality is actually unexplainable. It's just something we take for granted, existence and whether things are real. And how they differentiate between things that don't exist is a bit arbitrary, particularly if you consider that as soon as you think about something, then it becomes part of your reality, and then it becomes reality in a way for that short brief of time when you mentioned it. So whether or not I've scored in this Rocket League is shown by the stats at the end, and that's my reality at the moment. And what is reality? It's for you to decide. Thank you very much for watching. I love you. Ciao. Bye now.